Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the Writer Time Archive. Not the archive, it's the Writer Time Podcast. What am I saying? Feels like a Sunday morning. And we are here to discuss a very decadent, a very savory new episode of Kamen Rider Gavv, episode 32, Cup on the True Feelings. And let me say, this episode was very, 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 very good. Okay, you're probably wondering why I'm making like all these berry jokes. It's honestly, it has less to do with actual fruit and more to do with, well, let's just say I was more fixated on what Lyselle was doing in this episode, which is honestly absolutely nothing. But we're gonna get right into it. Where we left off, Hanto and Lakia were stuck together and torn apart by this insect granute with razor sharp sides on his arms, and has a mucus that causes things to become very adhesive to each other. So much so that it took a stick of dynamite in order to break things free. At least we think that's what it might take. But we do find that on the residue of battle, a tree bears a scar similar to that of Comer, Lakia's brother. So, what do we do here? So the first things first is, like, because the Granute escaped, we need Sachika to do some investigation. Like freaking Lakia is like right on. It's like Sachika, you got to do this. You're jack of all trades. You're the only one I have faith in. And it's like, wow, I guess revenge makes you more human friendly as long as you're not Hanto friendly. But the thing is, both Hanto and Lakia sustained injuries, one on his leg, the other on his arm, because, well, Hanto's leg was stuck to Lakia's arm. They broke free, but they sustained injuries. Meanwhile, what do we have moving forward in the subplot involving Lyselle? Actually, like, because where we left off there, where we left off with her, she and Shoma were locked eyes, and she said she doesn't want to fight him, she just wants to talk. So we're hoping to get somewhere interesting with this. And well, let's just say Lyselle is not the most couth person, because while she had this beautiful light drizzle, with all these fruits on top of her pancakes, she just smears it all over till there is a purple mass on top of her pancakes. Not unlike what I have right over here. That's right. I made keto blueberry pancakes with a keto blueberry puree. Yeah, I'm surprised I pulled it off as well as I did, because I was worried it would not go very well. And this is also why the podcast is taking so late as it is today, because cooking this takes forever. Like, almond takes longer to cook than flour does. But what is also very long is the history of pancakes, because pancakes, according to anthropology, has been around for more than 3,500 years. Maybe I'm off by a zero. It might have been even 35,000 years ago. It's been a while. But they found ancient humans with tools with trace amounts of flour and water embedded on them. So there's a possibility that pancakes might have existed even back then because they were heated up on flat slabs. But the modern word pancake was actually first used by William Shakespeare, believe it or not, like the word assassin or assassinate, and many other words. Oh, and plenty of idioms too, like just desserts. Shakespeare made a lot of modern day idioms that we use nowadays, so that's actually very interesting. And to think that he started the word pancake, that's also an interesting thing to learn about. One of your favorite playwrights. But interestingly enough, pancake is actually a broad term. While this is a traditional flapjack, in actuality, the word pancake can cover a lot of different foods, like French crepes, Israeli latkes, or even like Japanese like spongy pancake. It's that there's really like not there's really no unique word for the Japanese version that's very jiggly. But yeah, no, there's like a lot of it. Oh, and also there is the Slavic blintz, or blini as we call it. So yeah, there are a lot of historical variations on the same food, and they come in different varieties, which honestly is one of the reasons. This is probably the reason why I enjoy cooking so much, because you theoretically use the same four ingredients, but in different combinations in such a way that it comes out in so many different variations. Even Belgian waffles technically counts. And there are different kinds of waffles on top of that, like wafers. So, it's actually kind of cool to like learn about something so commonplace like that of a pancake. But, it is what it is. But yeah, no, learning about different foods is incredibly amazing, especially since culinary arts goes that far back. That's amazing. And, that's one of the things I appreciate about Kamen Rider Gavv, because it makes me really reflect on like how widespread the culture of snacking has come and gone. And it will continue to evolve. I mean, a couple of years ago, like before COVID, we even created a hot chip challenge because some people were gutsy enough to eat a piece of fried maza embedded with granulated ghost peppers, which has such a high concentration of capsaicin that it has a Scoville of over 1,000,000. And a single chip costs $8. Well, while I have won this challenge numerous times, it's still kind of funny to see other people fail. What's not funny is being the janitor in that situation. But yeah, so what is Lisselle here about? Basically, she's like, "Oh, I married G because he's cute and adorable, and I don't want you killing him. After all, you killed his other half." And he's like, "Well, I can't have you guys like turning humans into dark candy." It's like, "Oh, why are these humans so important to you? They're weak. They're pathetic. So if I kill enough humans, you will be riled enough to kill me too." It's like, I'd rather save the humans before they turn into, dark candy. It's like all I'm gonna say is you're way out of your league. And she arranges some flowers and walks off laughing. I have to say, Lisselle has me really convinced that, yeah, the only reason she likes Jeeb is because he looks adorable to her. I think as soon as she finds him less adorable for whatever reason, she's going to stab him in the back or toss him aside. Maybe he'll have a near-death experience like Kamen Rider Impala, instead of rescuing him, she's gonna be like, I'm kind of bored with you. I'm gonna leave you for dead, and then he dies. Like, there are many ways Jeeb could be defeated, but I feel like this is the most likely one, especially given some of the foreshadowing we saw in an earlier episode. Given what her father said in the past. Oh, and this is the last we see of her for the rest of the episode. Yeah, so that was very short. Like, yeah, like what is up with that? Meanwhile, inside the old headquarters of Hanto and his true mentor, where they would print out stories. They have a heart to heart. They talk about how Comer died and how Hanto's mother died, and also like Hanto acknowledges that, hey, I actually respect Comer because like while he did used to be a dark candy runner, he quit, and that's why they killed him. At least that's the story we're going with. But did they confirm this? I mean, I know that he was called a coward and he needed to be made an example of, but did they explicitly state that this is why that he was considered a coward? Because yeah. But yeah, it's really sad that both of these characters experience tragedies, but at least they're finally starting to see eye to eye as they treat each other's injuries. And yes, they're actually treating each other's injuries. Meanwhile, turns out Niel had some of his agents look for Dente, at which point the two of them finally meet each other. And this is the point where I'm nervous. It's like, Dente, I know it was you who invented that driver that Valen uses, because no one else could come up with a driver like the genius that is myself. Your genius is wasted here. Come back to Stomach Inc. I beg you. Like, we could rule the candy business like uncle and nephew. And he's like, kid, I'm freaking old. I have no interest in dark candy. Plus, I want Shoma to be happy, so of course I'm going to help him out instead. And of course, Niel leaves, but also this gives Dente the idea that, yeah, he might be killed off soon. So he has to make the most of the time he has now before he might actually be killed. And foreshadowing, I have a strong feeling that this might actually be what happens. And this is something I actually mentioned in the previous episode. There's a possibility that Dente might die, and this will somehow be involved in Shoma getting his final form. It might even be possible that, the relationship between Dente and Niel might be the reason why Shoma's final form has basically two variations. But we'll find out next week, aren't we? Meanwhile, Shoma looks for more agents who are turning humans into candy. Because, again, Lascelles did mention that Longo was demoted to ingredient acquisition. So, yeah, things are a little dire in terms of the agents that we're going to have to be looking at moving forward. So we finally used the caramel gochizo from the previous episode. And what it does is that it just fires these giant blocks of caramel out of it. And it's like, what does it do exactly? Well, one of its effects is that it creates an adhesive surface that causes the agent to, to become trapped. But other than that, I wish the giant throwing caramel blocks would get more done. I mean, like at that point, the popcorn gochizo might be more useful because, you got explosive projectiles. Meanwhile, we got our two heroes finally facing off against this Granute, and I am loving this transformation, and the main highlight of this fight scene is the fact that this insect Granute is goading on Lamb about the possibility that he may or may not be the one who killed Comer. But moving right into it, he starts firing his mucus at Vlam, but Valen takes a hit. And I mean, he keeps taking hit after hit from the mucus so that Vlam doesn't. It creates the perfect opportunity for Vlam to use a finishing move against him. It is such an awesome fight scene, and as he's like fading away, he reveals that he actually doesn't know anything about Comer. He was just goading him on. And he's like, please spare me. I'm really sorry for goading him on. It's like, oh, then die. You're useless to me. You know, that is such a Vegeta move for him to do, but it's still really cool to see. And of course, Shoma arrives just in time to watch them have their victory lap. And it's like, where were you this whole time? Oh, I was fighting an agent. And they have a flashback of him defeating the agent. And I have to say,
all right, well, I'm not a huge fan personally of the whole 3 weeks earlier teaser thing. I feel like, we should start our stories where they begin, not start them where they get interested.
Get out.
What?
Yeah. Why do we even need a flashback for that scene? Like just show it when it happened. Just cut straight to it. Get it out of the way. And then cut to us having these two characters fight that insect Granute. And then he shows up. It's like, oh, well, I was fighting an agent. Like the audience already knows what's up because they already saw how I defeated him. No need for flashbacks. And of course, everyone celebrates by getting a whole row of pudding because one of the victims of that agent from earlier this episode happens to be the pudding shop guy that Vlam gained a liking towards. And so he hooked him up with some free pudding. Like a lot of free pudding. If I'm being completely honest, I feel like pudding would have been a great topping for pancakes. Especially if it was like a blueberry pudding. Or vanilla. Yeah. Or banana pudding. Ooh, that'd be great. That would go great with blueberry pancakes. But, but we have one last bit of quipping between Vlam and Hanto. And there's a quick thing about one of two teddy bears, one having what I assume is cinnamon and the other containing sugar. The one containing sugar, which is more full, by the way, is basically lying sideways, and Shoma picks it up and readjusts it. And I'm wondering, is this foreshadowing something? I feel like this is foreshadowing something, but I'm trying to figure out what it is. Is it like a relationship between Yelv and Dente? Because I'm just really curious about those two teddy bears. There has to be some kind of Chekhov's gun about this. Meanwhile, the president's having a meeting with that centipede dude from the previous episode. Says, Oh, well, you've taken on a liking to dark candy. It's like, well, I can't really enjoy any food anymore other than this dark candy because it's so darn good. Well, here's the thing. We have a shortage of dark candy. He's like, what? No, no, please, please, I need more dark candy. Well, here's the thing. We need more humans in order to make more. But in order to get more dark candy, you're gonna have to work with my good friend. And you're thinking, is he gonna be working with Longo? No, it's Niel that shows up. So Niel already knew the president. How long ago was this? Like, have the two of them been co-conspiring since before Jeeb showed up? Was Lascelles marrying Jeeb part of Niel's plan? And what does this plan have to do with Dente? Things are getting very interesting. And I'm wondering, will Niel eventually become the main villain? What's going on? Okay, so one thing we know about the next episode is Niel has been researching the whole bitter Shoma research that Suga has been using, because we did see them together at the end of the previous arc. Next episode, we do see Kamen Rider Bake show up again, and it's probably someone who isn't Suga. So I'm guessing Niel is going to mass produce some bake drivers in order for some Granudes to do some of his dirty work. But what is this dirty work? Also, Sachika finds Dente on the floor, and we get a brief glimpse at Shoma's final form. So, thoughts? What do you guys will think happens next? Personally, I already said my piece about everything that I think would happen in the upcoming episode, and maybe for the duration of the arc. How exactly play out, because we have many different possibilities. I'm excited to find out. Heike, I'm very excited to find out. This episode, though, I give it a 9. It is really good for almost every detail, except for one. The speech with the breakfast with Lascelles. I was hoping it would go somewhere a little further. Unfortunately, it did not. I'm kind of disappointed that it didn't go further on certain angles. I wish it could have gone further, but I guess they're saving up some plot twists and some other ideas for later. What do you guys think? Jerry, new commenter, says hi. How are you doing? Triple Electricity says, OMG, those pancakes. Thank you so much for complimenting my my culinary craftsmanship. I like to push myself to try new things and be more experimental with the things I try to learn to make, and putting certain restrictions on myself, like neglect, like how to make this dish without this one particular key ingredient. That's something I find to be like a really fun challenge, and I appreciate the compliments. That's it for the comments, guys. I know it's getting late, so there wouldn't be a lot of comments tonight, but If you enjoyed, please be sure to comment, like, and subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Ding the bell icon. Stay notified for our latest videos. And share those videos because it helps us out with the algorithm. On Mondays, we are doing Ultraman Classic. We only got 2 more batches of episodes for us to finish the entire season. On Wednesdays, we are doing Kamen Rider Gavv. We just started the 3rd arc, and next week, we're going to see that final form for the first time. Thursdays, we got number 1 Sentai Go Juju, where we are going to start a brand new arc on that show. So that's crazy to see. And of course, on Sunday, we are doing Kamen Rider, the original 1971 series, where that too, we are starting a new arc. We're doing the 3rd arc. We're starting with episode 53. We're 52 episodes in. We did the movie, well, the first movie. So we only have 48 episodes left and 2 movies to go. So let's do it. Our next batch is 6 episodes long. All right. Also, check out our recent Power Morphicon interviews with Jeff Dolan, who played Korag, who played Daishi, that janitor from that one episode of Beast Morphers, that one motocross official in the final episode of Power Rangers Ninja Storm. And if you're wondering why it took us so long to upload that episode, well, there's a simple explanation for that. And check out our sister channel, The Buttery Show, where we are now uploading shorts for the new Gundam series, Mobile Suit Gundam GQX. And check out my personal content on Instagram at Boken_Kabuto and on Twitch at twitch.tv/BokenKabuto, where some of our other podcasts will be uploaded to. Thank you all so much for watching. Please be sure to stay safe, stay hydrated, update emergency kits, and I hope you have a very, very, very fantastic rest of your week. See ya!